Experts say Massie could be in talks with authorities after his arrest.
Experts say investigators are likely asking escapee Antoine Massey for his help in determining exactly how 10 men broke out of the Orleans Justice Center last month.
Maybe they make a deal with him, saying if there was people on the inside that helped you with this, maybe we won't, hit you too hard with additional charges.
Welcome to New Orleans, the city where them saints will give you a heart attack faster than them greasy pickle-tip rib bones in the red bean. The murder capital of the U.S., where death don't even need a reason. It's just Tuesday. Ain't no safety net, just murder rates higher than a dope fiend light bill. Now, we not here to glorify nothing. This ain't no trap fairy tale. This real life, where the struggle be generational and the trauma be hereditary. Antoine Massey ain't no stranger to this kind of chaos. He was baptized in it, born and raised in them very trenches that raised more killers than school teachers. Now, fast forward to May 16. That's when the circus at the Orleans Parish Justice Center turned into a full-blown magic show. Buku inmates dipped like it was the last call at the club. One of them, Antoine Massey, slipped out that $150 million jail like Chris Angel was his bunkie. No commotion, no alarms, just gone. And bruh ain't just hide around the corner. Nah, he ghosted on their ass for 6 whole weeks. Dude was ducked off at an Airbnb in Hollygrove while the law was chasing shadows and blaming plumbing leaks like they gon' fix stupidity.
Police arrested Antoine Massey Friday afternoon.
Yeah, it's a pretty quiet neighborhood. It's kind of shocking.
The 33-year-old's final moments of freedom ended at this home in Hollygrove. The woman who owns the house where he was found didn't want to show her face on camera, but says she rents the space out on Airbnb and was shocked when she found out the fugitive was on her property.
I'm frustrated, too. I don't know what's happening. They say this is going on, and I get here and I don't even see a cop.
6 weeks later, Antoine Massey surrendered. Word is that boy walked out that Hollygrove spot real nonchalant, like he had just got his hair braided. But here go the wild part. They say they got a tip from a concerned citizen. Man, stop it. Ain't nobody buying that Dollar Tree mystery novel. They knew exactly where he was. He set the whole surrender up his damn self just to get them off his people and grab them 50 rats. So boom, after Antoine went with his move, looking like he was posing for the cover of the Source magazine, they shipped that boy straight to Angola. Yeah, that Angola, a place where times move slower than your grandma gumbo cooking on low heat. At Stop Zoom Court, Antoine popped up on screen looking unbothered, like he just logged in for a traffic ticket. And who we got trying to throw dirt on his name, making sure he don't get a bond? Assistant Attorney General Daniel Smart. This man straight up asked the judge to hold that boy Massie without bond. Said bruh was a walking definition of a flight risk. Hold up, you mean the same Antoine Massey that already escaped from y'all jail, outran every cop in the state, and made it 6 weeks without getting caught? Of course that's the flight risk, dummy. You the one that ain't smart enough to stop it. That's like dropping your location to your ops on IG Live, then blaming the chat for you getting hit up.
We've learned Antoine Massey is being held without bond after a ruling by an Orleans Parish criminal court judge today. That's according to our partners at NOLA.com. He's being held at Angola prison 6 weeks after his historic escape from the Orleans Justice Center. Massey joins 8 other inmates who have been captured so far, leaving just one still on the run. Before Massey, the last capture was more than a month ago, and surprisingly, he was found only about 2 miles from the jail.
Antoine Massey lawyer Steve Smith laughed that bond request off like it was Mike Night. Said the whole thing was ridiculous and he wasn't wrong either. How you gonna act surprised that a man who already dipped might dip again? Daniel, I'm not so damn smart, pointed out that Antoine cost taxpayers millions, said he deserved 10 more years minimum.
The latest on the New Orleans jailbreak, a judge will seek to add another 10 years to the prison time Antoine Massey was facing. He's the most recent escapee to get recaptured, taken into custody Friday in Hollygrove. Here's a new mugshot after he was transferred to the state prison at Angola. He's being held there without bond after being deemed a flight risk.
Man, if y'all was really worried about the taxpayers, you wouldn't be claiming that inmates vanished through the toilets and leaky ceilings like it's a Scooby-Doo mystery. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the feds and local law enforcement officials land up there saying this man Massie about to start singing. Man, please, knock it off with the bullshit. Dude ain't no choir boy, and this damn show ain't Sunday service. Stop the cap. Now here's where the whole thing goes from dumb to disrespectful. Law enforcement officials with a straight face, mind you, really started telling the press they expect Antoine Massey to roll over on Derrick and spill on how they broke out.
So if he was the one who instigated this, or one of the ones, it depends on what they're going to want to give him something for. Most people get a chance to give information to the police at some time during their tenure in their custody. Whether or not it's worth anything, or whether or not they're really giving up anything of value, remains to be seen.
First off, why in the hell would a man who risked everything, made it out, stayed ghost for 6 weeks, and turned himself in on his own terms, suddenly start writing a confession letter like he applying for a student loan? The hell kind of street logic is that? These clowns really think they can dangle 10 extra years in that man's face, and he gonna start telling. You must think this is rehearsal for a Tyler Perry screenplay, like Antoine Massey gonna do a monologue and tell him who helped him escape. Come on now, bruh. That man sitting in his cell knowing damn well the streets watching, and so is every inmate already behind them walls. And let's not talk about Sheriff Susan It Ain't My Fault Hudson. This had the audacity to blame the escape on busted plumbing. Plumbing? You trying to tell us grown-ass men escaped a $150 million jail because of a toilet issue? Susan out here talking about she might have to shut the whole jail down for pipes. Meanwhile, she got $5 million in reserve funds. Yeah, $5 million sitting untouched like old Halloween candy. Say, bruh, over $5 million in rainy day money, and she still ain't spent a drop on fixing them shits? City council pulled up like, nah, we not buying that. JP Morrell lit her ass up like a 3.5 rolled in the raw cone. Told her flat out, you had the money, you had the time, and you still ain't do nothing but played victim.
The Orleans Sheriff's Office paints a bleak picture if the New Orleans City Council does not allocate more money for facility repairs and upgrades. Chris Welty is live at City Hall, where today's meeting became tense.
Yeah, Meg, this meeting definitely became tense at times when council members began talking over Sheriff Susan Hudson, as well as members of her staff and vice versa. Now, the Sheriff's Office primarily wants more funding to address plumbing issues at the Orleans Parish Justice Center. Now, the Sheriff's Office says plumbing repairs could cost between $300,000 to $400,000. OPSO says there were at least 16 different leaks behind walls at the Justice Center, causing additional damage. The Sheriff's Office brought the contractor and plumber making the repairs to today's special meeting. The contractor believes the leaks were slow until a pressure change caused issues throughout the whole building. The Sheriff's Office wants the council to reallocate money to address infrastructure concerns, but several city council members question if the sheriff already has the funds available to cover the expenses.
Dude said you making threats to shut down the jail when you could have paid for this a long time ago. Susan couldn't even answer straight. Every time somebody asked her for specifics, she hit them with another mystery excuse. Infrastructure this, overcrowding that. Girl, stop. That jail newer than most people's whip, and somehow it's falling apart.
Sheriff Susan Hudson and her team from the jail meeting with council members to discuss joining a citywide finance system called BRASS. BRASS is the financial system most city departments use to track funding. However, the sheriff's office does not.
If we can have a list of everything that y'all have that's being covered by the millage, and we can see what the city portion was historically and why the millage needs to be used to enhance what the city was already paying for.
The city has always had access to our system to look in it.
Okay.
And still can. And when we get our new system, this old system does need to go, but we need something new. And when that does, the city will be able to get into that one as well.
And here come Ann Kirkpatrick playing backup vocals to the circus, talking about Derrick Groves got the option to surrender peacefully. We're making an appeal to you. What the hell is this? A dating show? Lady sound like she trying to be that boy Sneaky Link instead of finding him. And I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Kirkpatrick and her crew tried to use Antoine's capture like it was a PR win, trying to polish up Susan Hudson's mess like it was a silver trophy.
Good afternoon. I am grateful to stand here with our law enforcement partners. Chief Kirkpatrick and I shared a moment this afternoon when she called me to talk about the press conference, just about the relief about having Antoine Massey into custody. 9 of 10 escapees, we've got one more to go. Like all of our law enforcement partners, I call on Derrick to do the right thing and turn himself in.
Whole time, the public sitting here like, you serious? Ray Charles could see through that shit. Then here come Colonel Robert Hodges from the Louisiana State Police. Man talking like he cracked the case of the century. Said it was pretty obvious Antoine Massey had help staying on the run. Bruh, obvious? You don't say. That man disappeared for 6 weeks like he was on tour, and all y'all found was the win. Hodges been saying we closing in since day one, sounding like your crackhead uncle who swear he coming back with the money for them 220s on the first. Newsflash, dog, you wasn't even warm. Antoine had y'all looking like mall cops on tricycles while he chilling in the Grove on a Tempur-Pedic mattress. Then the punchline of the decade came when they told the news Antoine was expected to cooperate, like he gonna fool under pressure and spill on Derrick Groves in the escape. Let's get this straight. Law enforcement out here doing wishful thinking like it's a damn vision board. But this is the South and this is the Inno, so you know the dirty games they play. They went to the media, tried to run a little smear campaign, had headlines out there looking like Antoine had already turned red, like he gave him a blueprint. Truth is, that was a straight up power play and false narrative, trying to get Angola inmates to side-eye that boy Antoine Massey soon as he touched down. Tried to make it high for him. Get folks inside them walls to do the stage dirty work. But here's where they messed up. That ain't how that man built. In Angola, word travel fast. Ain't no TV needed. They know who getting off that bus before the tires even cool down. And if Antoine really gave somebody up, the compound would have lit up like the new LED lights on the Superdome. But it didn't. You know why? Because he ain't told them nothing. Let's keep it real. If Antoine Massey wanted to tell, he would have told before them extra 10 years got stapled to his name. If you break out, run wild for 6 weeks, then walk back in on your own, that's not a man scared. That's a man who decided the game on his time. Ain't no plea deal sweet enough to make a man flip when he already took that kind of risk. Law enforcement trying to run Jedi mind tricks on the wrong dude. It's not working, and the streets know it. Antoine Massey ain't talking, he just watching. And while the state burned through resources and airtime and tax dollars hoping for a fairy tale ending, all they really did was show the world how deep their incompetence runs. Susan Hudson still ducking accountability, like your first baby daddy who on the run for that child support payment. And Kirkpatrick still sounding like she read her statements from the Sunday comics section of the Time-Picayune. And Daniel Smart, that man couldn't outwit your little cousin who you used to manipulate as little kids. Meanwhile, J.P. Morrell, the only one in power, telling it like it is, pulled Susan Hudson's card in them council chambers, shredded that weak-ass narrative, and made her look like the headliner of a circus she couldn't control. Well, here's where we are. Antoine Massey back in the pen, not saying a word. The state's still dreaming, and the whole damn city watching, not because they believe the lies, but because they know when the system full of clowns. Even the truth gotta wear a mask just to survive.